Hi, my name's Phil Gardner and welcome to Fun with Boxes, another top 10 board game list. And today I'm taking a look at my top 10 favourite board games beginning with the letter D. As always, I'm only looking at the board games that we own, that are in our board game collection, and of course games that we have actually played. And we have around 79 board games beginning with the letter D, so choosing the top 10 of these games was a little tricky. Not as tricky as my last video, the games beginning with the letter C. That one was very, very tricky to come up with a definitive top 10 there. So without any further ado, let's just jump in and have a look at what game is at number 10. Well, at number 10 we have the rather excellent Dragon Keepers from publishers Cosmos and designed by Honourable Mentions. Wow, this game is fantastic. Not only is it fantastic, just look at how cute that dragon is. But it doesn't just stop there. Oh no, there's a cute dragon on the back too. And indeed, there's a cute dragon on all the cards in this game. Wow, so fantastically cute. But the game is not only just cute, it's also a very, very fine game indeed for 2 to 4 players and will play in around 20 minutes. Very simple to play, very quick and easy to pick up, and it is an absolute delight where you'll be using the cards that come in with the game to form what is your magic spell book. And what you'll be doing in this rather wonderful game is you will be playing as an experienced dragon keeper, and you will be looking after very small, cute, adorable dragons. So before they can fly and breathe fire, they need your help to be well protected. So will you, as an experienced dragon keeper, be up to the task in hand? And to do this, you will need to use your magic spell book, and you'll always have 2 open pages to show you which dragons and how many you can take under your protection. And it goes without saying, as they say here, that you have a few clever tricks up your sleeve in order to manipulate the spellbook in your favour. The best dragon keeper will win this fantastic contest. I really do enjoy playing this game right from the get-go. It's such a clever little system and such a wonderful looking game. You just can't help but fall in love with it. And if you'd like to know a little bit more about the game, please check out my channel for a video all about Dragon Keepers, where you'll find an unboxing, an overview and a full how to play video and review of this wonderful little game. So check that out if you fancy taking a deeper look at this game. So there we go, that's my number 10, Dragon Keepers. And coming in at number 9 we have an absolutely superb game called Dice Hospital, and this game comes from the wonderful Alley Cat Games. This is such a fun and very clever dice manipulation game. It really is superb. It's for 1 to 4 players and will take around 45 to 90 minutes to play. And as it says on the box here, welcome to the world of Dice Hospital, where our patients are just numbers. Literally, use your Dr. Meeples to treat your dice patients as they keep incoming via ambulances. Wow, this game really, really is brilliant, and you get a ton of content in it. I've bought the deluxe upgrade, so we've got actual little ambulances that the dice patients will come to the hospital in. It really is a clever game with a bit of a drafting system similar to Zoo Loretto, if you've ever played that game. And here is one of those little 3D ambulances, and it looks absolutely brilliant. So if you've got the game but haven't got the deluxe upgrade pack, I'd highly recommend it. It really adds a lot to the game. I know it's just cosmetic, but you gotta love it, haven't you? As your little dice patients turn up in their little ambulances. Fantastic. And the game really is a load of fun. And it's very clever how they use the dice in the game, because your patients are the actual different coloured dice, and you're trying to heal them and make them better, and then get them discharged from hospital. And if they are reduced down to one, then unfortunately it's likely that they are not going to make it. Oh dear. So the best thing you can do is to increase their numbers. Once you've increased them up to 6, if you can increase them further past that point, then they are discharged from hospital and will score you some well-earned points. Dice Hospital is a really, really brilliant game from the wonderful Alley Cat games. There you go. Dice Hospital thoroughly deserves to be in my top 10 and is currently at number 9. And at number 8, we have a rather large game box here for Dice Throne. And this is Marvel Dice Throne, but to be honest, I love all the Dice Throne games, Season 1 and Season 2, which we were rather lucky to win at Aircon. Wow, they do have some amazing board game raffles. If ever you go along to Aircon, don't forget to check out their raffles. You never know, you could be a lucky winner next time, just like we were. Well, this, as I said, is Marvel Dice Throne. It is rather fantastic. It's a game for 2 to 6 players and will take around 30 minutes to play. And it's a wonderful little dice Yahtzee style game that is really quick and fun to play. And what's rather brilliant about it is the setup is really straightforward. As you can see here, the way they have designed everything is every character gets its own individual tray. So, for example, if I wanted to play Spider-Man, all I would need to do is to pop out the tray, and then inside is everything I need. My playboard and my reference sheet and my combat points and health trackers and everything I need to play this game, including, of course, the rather wonderful dice. It's such a fun game where every character plays differently and adds their own special dynamic to the game. And as it says here, welcome to Dice Throne, a heart-pumping, fast-playing game of skillful card play and dice manipulation that will have your game nights cheering. Indeed. How to play. Roll your hero's dice 3 times to activate abilities, upgrade abilities and play action cards to surprise your foe and defeat your opponents to take the throne. Yes, there you go. That is Dice Throne. Like I say, this is Marvel Dice Throne, but there are a number of other Dice Thrones that you can pick up. Obviously, if you're a Marvel fan, you're definitely going to want to pick this one up. So there we go. That's Dice Throne at my number 8. And coming in at number 7 is a game that I haven't played for quite some time, which is a shame. I really need to get this back out onto the table sometime soon. And that game is Dead of Winter, a Crossroads game. This is a fantastic game with a ton of standees in there. None of this miniatures nonsense. Oh no miniatures here. Just a load of standees, and they really are rather brilliant. It's a game for 2 to 5 players and will last around 1 to 2 hours. And this is a Crossroads game, and it's quite an interesting thing that they do. What somebody will do is take a Crossroads card out, and as another player is doing something, if they trigger a condition that's on the card, something will happen. So it could be that nothing happens on that particular turn, or something dramatic could happen. It's quite an interesting thing. And this is one of those games where there could be a hidden traitor in there. And I do enjoy that, I must admit. So it is a game of survival in a winter zombie apocalypse, and you're all trying to deal with your own psychological imperatives, but you must find a way to work together to fight off the outside threats, resolve crisis, find food and supplies, and keep the colony's morale up. And of course, like I said, there could be a hidden traitor in there messing things up. Oh, this is a really brilliant game. Obviously, it's very thematic and plays exceptionally well. I really enjoy Dead of Winter, and I really should, as I said earlier, really should get this game to the table. It is rather fantastic. Dead of Winter, my number 7. And for my number 6 game, I have an absolute belter. An absolute classic of a belter of a board game. What board game could that be? You may well ask. Well, it is only the original deck building game. Yes, it is. Bear with me as I struggle to pick this up, because I have rammed it full of tons of expansions, so there are literally hundreds upon hundreds of cards in this. This is, of course, Dominion. What a fantastic board game this is. An absolute classic. A brilliant, brilliant game. We have had hundreds of hours of fun playing this game. It really is exceptional. It's the original deck building game. And of course, there have been many, many deck building games over the years that have used this sort of basic system and done many varied and different things, and really, really innovative, brilliant, interesting games. But this is the original. And you may think, oh, perhaps the originals, it's a bit old. You know, there's a lot more modern board games out there now. Perhaps this one, you could skip it because it was just the first one that started it. No, please do not skip this game. This game is fantastic. This game is as playable as it was on the day it was released. It is just simply fantastic, and the amount of content you can get for this game is off the chart. It really is amazing. You could play this game forever, to be honest, for just forever, and you would continue to have loads and loads of interesting fun because you mix the game up every time you play it. So you start off, you'll have 10 kingdom cards, I believe they're called, and you'll be using your hand of cards, which start off as a hand of coins, and you'll be buying certain cards from the kingdom row, adding them to your hand, and you'll be cycling through your deck of cards, and then the cards that you bought will give you extra abilities that will allow you to buy better cards or get cards that will provide you victory points for the game. It is tremendous, tremendous fun. And there are hundreds of these kingdom cards, so you can have a completely random setup and never see the same setup again. The possibilities are just endless. I love this game. It gives me the warm fuzzies, and it's been out for quite a number of years, and as I say, it hasn't aged a single day. This is a cracking game. That's Dominion, my number 6 board game, beginning with the letter D. Well, we've reached the halfway point, and this is where I like to stop and pause for a moment and have a look at some honourable mentions, because there are a ton of brilliant games that start with the letter D, an absolute ton. And so making a top 10 list is quite difficult actually, because you're constantly tinkering with it, or suddenly remembering another game that begins with the letter D that you missed and overlooked, and then you've got to rejiggle your order, and some fall off, some add in. And what I would really like to do is just to show you 5 games that just missed out on being on my top 10 list. So let's have a quick look at these games. And the first one is Dorf Romantic, the board game. This is a cracking little game. And to be honest, this is a game that I find extremely relaxing. Yes, a board game to relax to. Wow. It really is a super chill out game. It's so simple and easy to play, and is just a ton of fun. It's a tile placement game, but it's also a cooperative tile placement game, which is quite unusual. And what you do is you are creating a beautiful world of hexagonal landscapes while completing some tasks requested by the world's residents. And it simply is a joy to play. I mean, it's very simple. You just place landscapes to complete the tasks requested, gain points to improve your high score, and unlock additional components. So it's almost a bit like a legacy game in a way there, as in the higher you score, the more things you can unlock and enjoy during the game. It is a simple game, and it's a fun game, and it's one that I would highly recommend. We loved playing this at 2 players, we really did, but you can play between 1 to 6 players, and it will last you around half an hour to an hour. And that's Dorf Romantic, the board game. Highly recommended. And next up, we have a board game that it's an IP tie-in, and it is Die Hard. Die Hard, love the films of course, so Die Hard, the board game, well, I had to check it out, and I wasn't expecting much. I must be honest, I wasn't expecting much at all. I was expecting to have wasted some money, to be honest. But when we set up and played this game, oh, yippee-ki-yay, ho ho ho, it was non-stop fun and rather brilliant. It really does recreate the movie brilliantly, and it plays over 3 acts, so there's 3 separate stages to the game on a double-sided player board, and it is absolutely brilliant. If you're a fan of Die Hard and you fancy picking up a board game of Die Hard, this is a no-brainer. It is really very good indeed. That's Die Hard, the Nakatomi Heist board game. Next up, I have a rather brilliant game, and this is from Mr. B Games and Cloud Island, and this is Days of Ire, Budapest 1956. This is a brilliant game that reminds me the sort of board game that perhaps GMT would release. It's a game for 1 to 4 players that will last around an hour to an hour and a half, and it is a very interesting theme and very interesting game with some wonderful game mechanics in it. One player plays as the Soviet force trying to hold the movement back, while a group of 1 to 3 players play against them as revolutionaries, driving the movement forward through the 7 days between the 23rd and 29th of October 1956. Or you can play cooperatively as a group of 1 to 4 revolutionaries against an AI Soviet force, with solo and co-op modes included inside the box. This is a cracking game, and if you're into this type of game, it's not really a war game as such. It's a bit like a Euro game. It is very good, and it was very interesting to learn and find out what happened during this period. This is Days of Ire, Budapest 1956. Highly recommended. And the next game is a very small boxed game from Oink Games. I do love an Oink game, and not just because of me saying the word oink, even though it's good fun. I do indeed love small box games. We have many such games like this, and Oink Games do a number of wonderful little games, but this one is my favourite. This is Deep Sea Adventure, and it is a cracking simple little game for 2 to 6 players, and it'll take you around 30 minutes, and it's a brilliant little push your luck game where you are little divers swimming from a submarine, and you're swimming down looking to collect all the treasure that's lying at the bottom of the sea. And the deeper you swim down from your little submarine, the better the chances of you getting more and more valuable treasure. And it's brilliant because you roll in a dice to go down, and as you pick up your treasure, that will weigh you down, so that when you continue going down and when you roll dice, you will subtract the number of points off the dice rolled. So you need to be very careful because your oxygen will be slowly running out, so you need to get back into the submarine before that happens. Otherwise, of course, it's not very pleasant for you. You will not be celebrating with that treasure at all. Don't let that happen. It is a brilliant push your luck game. I love playing this. We used to take it everywhere with us. We even got a little expansion, which is a little dice tray for it, for you to roll your dice in there. Absolutely fantastic fun. I highly recommend this game. It's a game that you can set up and play anywhere really. It doesn't take up too much space because you can spiral out the treasure underneath your submarine and then use that to swim down and collect and get back to your submarine. Deep Sea Adventure from Oink's Game, a brilliant little game. And then finally, a wonderful little game here called Draftosaurus, a game for 2 to 5 players that will only take 15 minutes. This is a brilliant little filler game, and I've just realised that this is all in French actually. Well, I've forgotten all about that. It is indeed all in French, but we must have looked at the English rules because we have played this quite a few times. It is a brilliant little game where you put in your little dinosaurs in a little dinosaur sort of Jurassic Park zoo. Oh, it is such a simple little game where you are drafting dinosaurs and putting them into little pens in your sort of dinosaur zoo there. But each pen will have certain restrictions, and every turn a dice is rolled as well, and that further restricts you during the game as well. It's incredibly simple, and plays really quickly. It is a great filler game. If you've got 20 minutes and you're waiting for a game to be set up or waiting for somebody to turn up to play a longer game, this is the type of game that you can set up in seconds and play within 15 minutes. A brilliant game. Draftosaurus, highly recommend this one. Well, here we are back into the main top 10 list, and now we're into the top half. So, what game do I have at number 5? Well, I have a rather fantastic party game called Don't Mess with Cthulhu. And this is Don't Mess with Cthulhu, the deluxe version. It's by Indie Boards and Cards and is for 4 to 8 players and will play in around 20 minutes. A lovely little filler party type game, and it is truly tremendous. Really good fun. It's a fast playing social deduction game with secret identities. Players are either investigators trying to keep Cthulhu from waking and controlling the world, or cultists who want to bring the world to a disturbing end. And no one knows who's on whose team. It is a rather brilliant game, and I'm particularly fond of this because I've got some wonderful memories of this at one of the aircons quite a few years ago, where I was fortunate enough to play with my good friend Dave Loser and with the brothers Murphs as well. What fantastic chaps they are. Really brilliant fun. Really brilliant fun. Very, very nice people indeed. And we had the most hilarious game of Don't Mess with Cthulhu Deluxe. Such a brilliant, fun game that I had to buy it as soon as we got home from Aircon. I'll never forget that. It was just insane. It was just brilliant, brilliant fun. That's Don't Mess with Cthulhu. And coming in at number 4, we have quite a new game here. And this game is a belter. It is absolutely cracking. Fantastic. This is Distilled. It's a game for 1 to 5 players and will take around 30 minutes per player to play. And it is a game from Pavison Games. And like I said, it is absolutely brilliant. A superb game. A spirited strategy game is what they say, because of course this game is all about the science and business of crafting alcoholic spirits in a distillery. A theme that I rather do enjoy. Quite a lot, if I'm honest. Oh, where did this come from? Huh. How strange. Well, the theme in this game is absolutely brilliant, and the game mechanics are absolutely fantastic. It's a joy to play. The components, the quality and production of the game is quite fantastic. I've got all the various expansions included in this box, and everything fits into the main box, which is rather brilliant, I must admit. So this is quite a hefty box indeed. The idea of the game is you've inherited an abandoned distillery from a long lost relative, which happens all the time, doesn't it? All the time. I'm fed up of the number of distilleries that I now own for some strange reason. Unbelievable. Wow. Wouldn't that be rather wonderful though? And you are tasked with bringing it back to its former glory. So you'll be learning recipes and compete in the market for the most prodigious ingredients, bottles and barrels. And you'll invest and upgrade your distillery using specialists with unique expertise and streamlining your distilling process. Do you have what it takes to become the master distiller and beat the competition? This is a brilliant game. A really, really brilliant game. Even if the theme may not appeal to you, it's still a fantastic game. But obviously if you enjoy a little tipple from time to time, well, this one is going to float your boat. This is a cracking game, and that game is Distilled from Pavison Games. And coming in at number 3, we have a trading card game, and this is Disney Locana, the trading card game. This particular one is Ursula's Return, and this was a trove box which had a number of boosters included in it. But of course, you would start off with a starter deck here, and here are the 2 starter decks here for the latest Ursula's Return. Oh, Disney Locana, my goodness, buyer beware. This is a bit of a money pit, because as soon as you start getting into a trading card game, well, you can wave goodbye to all your money. Yes, all your money. Your wallet, purse or handbag or money carrying device will be devoid of all your money before you know it. My goodness. But what a joyful way to spend all your money. The artwork, as you can imagine, in this game is absolutely fantastic. Really, really, really brilliant. It is Disney after all. And I can imagine people are buying this game just for the artwork. It is that good. But of course, Disney Locana is a brilliant game too. We love playing this game. Me and Lisa, we will duel it out for hours and hours on end. But you can play with more players, but we like to play it as a 2-player game. And it is a brilliant game. Very, very easy to pick up and understand. You will have a hand of cards, and what you can do is you can play one of those cards face down, and this will give you ink that you need to draw the Disney characters. So you would use that ink to play a card from your hand, which would go out in front of you, and then the ink would start drying, so you can't use that card that round. But on your next turn, the ink will have dried, and then you can use that card, and you will be using it to go on quests, because the idea of the game is to build up 20 lore to win the game, and you will be able to challenge the other players' characters to try and thwart their plans for their questing. It is a rather brilliant game, and it is a game, like I said, that you can get lost in, and before you know it, you've spent a huge amount of money on it, because it is a collectible trading card game where you can buy booster packs, and that thrill and excitement of, ooh, what cards will I have in? Will I get any ultra rare cards or the super rare enchanted cards, which can be worth a ridiculous amount of money. In fact, we were lucky enough to get one card out of all the ones we bought, and we've bought quite a lot of booster packs. We were lucky to get enough to get one that is valued at something crazy like £180 to £200 on eBay at the moment. So there is that collectability of the game, but it is a fantastic game. And I'll be honest with you, all you really need to do is to get yourself a set of starter decks, and you're good to go. You don't need to buy anything else. You will have tremendous fun just with the starter decks. But of course, if you so wish, there are the booster cards and various gift sets that come out. I think they're coming out every quarter now with new versions of the game. It is a fantastic game. I love it, and I'm going to carry on spending all my money on it. I can't help myself. That's Disney Lorcana. And here we are at number 2 with the wonderful Dune Imperium from Direwolf Studios. This, obviously, is a great game. It is my number 2. It could be my number 1 quite easily. I've enjoyed playing this game so much. It is, of course, based on the wonderful book Dune, or indeed the wonderful new film Dune, which everyone seems to be enjoying rather a lot. I've got the deluxe upgrade pack version of it here, and have all the expansions and everything packed into it, so it's quite a weighty little game. And this one comes with a variety of miniatures and things like that, just to upgrade the game, and it is a bit of a cracker, I must admit. It's a game for 1 to 4 players and will last around an hour, certainly for 2 players, longer obviously with 4 players, probably pushing the 2-hour mark there. It's a brilliant, super thematic game. It really does capture the Dune essence. The spice truly is flowing in this game. Oh, it's a cracker. It's a real fun game to play and has a deck building element to it. And as you acquire cards and build up your deck, your choices will define your strengths and weaknesses. Cards allow you to send your agents to certain spaces on the game board, and how your deck evolves will affect your strategy, just like in other deck building games. The spice must flow to lead your house to victory. I really highly recommend this game. Again, if you're into Dune, it's a no-brainer. Even if the theme doesn't really appeal to you, it's just such a clever, satisfying game to play. I really, really enjoy Dune Imperium, and it well deserves its number 2 spot. Who knows, one day it could even be number 1. A cracking game. Well, have you guessed what my number 1 board game is, beginning with the letter D? Well, it is a rather brilliant game. It is Dwellings of Eldervale, another big box game. Look, this game box has a head and arms. Ooh, I didn't expect that. Well, this is a big box game from Breaking Games, a 1 to 5 player game with a playtime of around 30 minutes per player. And it's a bit of a fantastic game. It really is. A long-lost world of magical power will await you. Giant monsters roam while dragons, wizards and warriors battle in 8 elemental realms. Fight the beasts, dwell the land, claim the magic. This is the legendary Kickstarter edition, which includes some upgraded components. And you don't really need to have them, but you know you do, really. Especially when you see them and also hear them. Did I say hear them? Did you hear correctly then? Let's have a look, shall we? Or rather, let's have a little listen. Are you ready? Ooh. Yes, indeed. Creatures that make a noise when you move them around on the board. How joyful is that? Good grief. Well, that's where all your money goes on a Kickstarter. Totally unnecessary, but how joyful. Hours of fun. Hours of fun. And this being a full-on deluxe Kickstarter edition, it really is a spectacular edition. It was well worth the money, I must admit. And each player, you've got trays here for easy setup. It is a great production of a fantastic game. Really enjoy playing this game. Well, that's The Dwellings of Eldervale by Luke Laurie. An absolutely brilliant game. Highly recommended. I doubt whether the Legendary Edition is available anymore, but if you do happen to stumble across it, it is really well worth the money. Really completely deluxified, but tremendous fun. That's The Dwellings of Eldervale, my #1 board game, beginning with the letter D. Well, a big thank you for joining me on this journey through the alphabet and through my top 10 board games beginning with the letter D. Coming up soon, hopefully in the next week or two, will of course be my favourite board games beginning with the letter E. But in the meantime, if you did enjoy this video, please do click the old like button and also hit that subscribe button too. That would be really nice of you, and I would be extremely grateful. It really will help to grow the channel. And in the meantime, as always, thanks so much for watching. Please do take care, and bye for now.